Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the podcast. Beautiful You. I'm your host, Avantika. Today, we are joined by a very special guest with us. Akansha Jain is a counseling psychologist, school counselor, a certified art therapist, writer, podcast speaker, and a mental health activist. She's currently working as a school counselor to spread awareness among youth regarding stigma around mental health through various workshops and seminars. Her articles on mental health and societal issues got published in some of the renowned magazines such as Scripting Soon, Eat My News, and more. Before we dive into this episode, you guys know I advocate for therapy all the time. Beautiful You encourages you to seek the right professional help and care for you. This is where Amaha comes in. Amaha is a mental health care organization offering scientifically driven and evidence based high quality care through therapy, psychiatry, their community support, and self care app. Whether you're dealing with anxiety, depression, or any other severe condition, Amaha has about 140 plus psychologists and psychiatrists working to support you. You can access therapy and psychiatry services online as well as in person through their centers in Bangalore, Delhi, and Mumbai. Beautiful You listeners get a special discount. Use the code BY50 to get 50% off your first session with Amaha. Just download their app, it's called Amaha, AMAHA, or visit their website to book your first session with Amaha. And if you know someone who is struggling with mental health, share the love and the discount. Let's make mental health care accessible for everyone together. Invest in your mental health, you deserve it. Welcome, Akansha. I'm so excited to dwell into this conversation with you today. How are you doing?
Thank you so much, Avantika. It's nice to be here on your platform and share my views on today's topic.
So we would be.
How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good as well.
So essentially, we'll be talking about hustle culture, the impact on mental health. We would be talking about relationship dynamics that one, experiences, self worth, and identity. And this is something that the hustle culture, especially, is something that a lot of youth of this generation faces. So I'm really excited to dwell into this conversation with you and just learn more about how it impacts mental health and how one can do better for their own mental well-being. To start off with, in a world that practically never sleeps, how would you define hustle culture and why do you think it has become such a buzzword in today's society?
Basically, hustle culture is defined as a mindset that glorifies your achievements, your working hard, and your busyness. Why is the markers of the success in today's world? If you're not working hard, if you're not keeping productive all the day, people think that you are not doing enough. And then there comes this hustle culture into life, right? Because if you're working continuously day and night, then people think, oh, you are doing a great job. If you're not doing, if you're taking a break, there's a constant worry in your mind that, oh, I'm losing on something, I'm not doing something good. Because we are so much on social media nowadays, social media comparison, economic pressure on us, advancement of technology, fear of failure is some constant factors which makes us do the hustle culture, where we have to prove ourselves continuously to some or the other person, whether it's in our work life, in our professional life, personal life, everywhere we have to prove. And to prove ourselves, we keep on hustling from one thing to another, even if we are on the rest mode or in a vacation. And the second thing which you told me, that buzzword in today's world,
Yeah.
hustle culture, because it gives you a reinforcement of societal values and norms around work, self-worth, and success. And it's important that we should understand that this hustle culture is also putting some of the negative effect on our physical and our mental health.
Why do you think the hustle culture has come up so much in the present times?
Because of cultural values which we are following, the westernization, I guess. And people are more influenced nowadays of social media.
Right,
There
right.
are so much factors which are coming on social media, and they want to compare themselves. In social media, we only put our that we are doing good, right?
Best
We
parts.
don't put our struggle stories.
Right.
And people think that, oh, if this person is succeeding in this age this much, what I am doing. And that comparison makes a person to hustle even if they don't want to,
Mm.
because they are burning out, they are feeling mental stress all the time, they are losing on so many things, but still they want to hustle because they want to prove themselves. or get the societal norms right, that if we are doing something we have to prove to the society.
Right. Yeah. So it's interesting because, like, for me, I've been guilty of being part of the hustle culture. So I would always be like, okay, I have a schedule, I have a to-do list, my entire day is packed. I have like hours slotted to particular thing, and I'm constantly hustling, right? But then there's a fine line between hustling to like working hard towards your goals versus overworking yourself to the limit that you burn out. So how do you define?
Exactly.
Yeah, how do you define the fine line between?
Basically hustle culture is focus on a particular work, right? But we overwork, because if you're working in a certain corporate world or something like that, if your
Yeah.
work hour is still 6 o'clock, but your manager messages you at 6 o'clock that we have a meeting or something like that, we will attend that meeting because it is a order. So that is overworking beyond, pushing our limits beyond our things. We are sacrificing our families, our social life, our friends. That is overworking. There is
Makes
a very thin line between hustle culture and overworking. If we are focused, we are doing our work, we are achieving it, and we are maintaining a balance between our personal life and work life, that is good. But if we are putting one thing up,
hmm.
putting another thing down, then it is not a good thing, right?
So it
Because
is
it
having,
makes something dysfunctional.
yeah.
Either your personal life will be dysfunctional or your professional life will be dysfunctional.
So I guess having the right boundaries set for ourselves would be very beneficial to understand,
Yes,
protect
setting
ourselves.
right boundaries,
Yeah, to protect ourselves from burning
being very
out.
assertive. So being assertive is very important, especially when you are coming in a work professional. If you are not assertive, people will exploit you, because you are doing their work now and they want their work to be done. If you don't know how to create your boundaries, you don't know how to be assertive, you don't know how to say no, then people will exploit you, because every company wants their turnover. They don't care about your mental health until or unless you speak about it. You have to be assertive, you have to be vocal about how you are feeling
Hmm.
and why it is important for us to take a break.
Makes sense. So could you give me an example, some sentences or statements that would be beneficial for someone to use it at, like, let's say a boss is demanding to work after hours for a meeting for a client that's important. This is like important work. How do you say no to that?
You can say that I appreciate the opportunity, but I have some other work to do. You can always use the I statement, that yes, I appreciate that whatever we are doing is
Right.
good, but now I have something important to do. Because if you will not speak, how they will understand? Like, I will give you my own example. If someone gives me something to do and I don't want to do it because it is extending my time, I be very polite to the person, I will very kind to the person, and I say very kindly, very nicely to the person that I'm happy that you shared this opportunity with me, and I know that this is very important for you as well as for me, but currently I cannot do it
Makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah.
because I have other things also to do. Huh? I have a family, I have my personal space as well. So I cannot do it right now. I will do it whenever I will get time for it.
Fair enough. It's
And
interesting that you say that. Yeah.
whenever you say this for the first time, second time, people will not accept it. It is very difficult for the other person to hear your no.
Oh my God, yeah, yeah, I agree. So, something interesting happened to me recently. I'm starting my first job from 20th of June, and I had told, sorry, 20th of May, and like in 3 days. And I had told them that I would be starting from 27th. Now, my mom's birthday is on 27th, but it's a Monday, right? So, naturally, I thought that Monday is the best way to start your first job. And I was speaking to my brother, and he's like, it's mom's birthday. Why are you starting on 27th? And then I told him, I already gave them the date. Now, how do I change it? They wanted me to join earlier, but I extended it 27. And I felt so bad about changing it to 28. And he told me, you talk about having a work life balance. This is how you have a work life balance. So I was like, oh, can I just lie about it and tell them that it's like a hospital emergency or something? He's like, no, you tell them that it's your mom's birthday. That's why you're starting on 28. And I was like, that was one of my lessons. And then I talked to the HR and they're like, yeah, sure, that's fine. So I was like, oh, it was that easy. So that's very interesting because sometimes you just have to
Sometimes
ask.
we overthink.
Yeah.
Sometimes we overthink. You know, I have to take a leave on Monday as I am having something important, and I was constantly thinking about it, that how should I tell them that I have to take a leave because it is very important for me. And if I will say no, if they will think something about me, they will think that I'm not a responsible person of or employee over there, and I'm taking leave just like that. Taking a leave of that is sanction, that is my casual leave. That also we think a lot,
Yeah,
because it is in our culture to be very responsible. You cannot say no, and we have been brought up like this. I think so that society or conditioning of our upbringing is like that. But slowly we are learning to say no. At least I am learning to say no to a
same.
certain a lot of things.
And I hope that I'm able to like incalculate all of these things once I start my job officially, because this is like a first proper job, right? With like a corporate setting and everything. And I was like, oh, it's gonna be interesting to navigate these things, but that's for sure. So, could you tell us about a time when the pressure to always hustling? Because since you're from this generation as well, you must have experienced the effects and the impact of hustling as well. How did it impact your personality?
Speaking about myself, as I told you, as you have given my introduction, that I'm a counseling psychologist,
Yeah.
school counselor, writer, podcaster, mental health activist. So it was a lot on my plate. And whenever I see someone doing something better, I could compare myself to that person, that, oh, yeah, this person is doing this, and I'm still not doing anything. And I keep on hustling a lot of times with many projects on my hand, not sleeping on time, not eating on time, not giving time to my parents, to my family, to my friends, because this was so much stuck into my mind that no, I have to prove that I am somebody, I'm doing something in my field. And one day I just sat with myself and I just said that it's enough. You can't give everything to your profession. Your mental health is declining, and coming from a mental health field, if your mental health is not good, then what's the use of talking about mental health, right? And then I
Absolutely.
decided that no, it's nothing. If I'm not having my mental peace, then this work, this name, this fame is nothing. I need my mental peace. And then I decided, no, I have to make boundaries. I have to be realistic about my goals, that yes, this is me, this things I can do and these things I cannot do because it is not of my capability. And I need to realize that whatever I'm seeing on the social media is only the output, not the struggles. So I have to be little realistic. And from that point of time, I have changed my viewpoint. It took me a lot of time, because when we have a schedule of running back to back on things, we feel in our mind that no, if we will not do that, if we are not responsible, we are not proving something to the other person. So in that way it took me a time, but now definitely one step closer to my step
Yeah.
thing I have made it.
That is so amazing. Yeah. Do you have any non-negotiables to ensure that you're taking care of your mental health?
Yeah, I cannot sacrifice on my family. If
Yeah.
something they need my time, I will prefer them, no matter that this is my job demanding or not. But because for me, my family and friends are very important, because I think they are the people whom you get happiness with. At least for me, I will speak for myself, that
Mhm.
because I find that no matter what difficult situation I am, they are there to support me. And what's the use if I'm not giving my time to them, because my
Yeah.
parents are growing older. So spending time with them is most important and the non-negotiable thing for me, I guess.
Absolutely. Yeah. Agreed. So, in your opinion, how do you think hustle culture influences our relationships, both in professional as well as personal life?
I guess when in personal, first we talk about personal. If you're hustling over a lot of time, you will have problems in your relationship, because you will
Right.
be frustrated. You will not be able to give time to your parents, to your families, or any other relationship. You will be angry on small things. You will get frustrated because you're overburdened with a lot of things, right? So you cannot work when you're overburdened or you're stressed. You will have that frustration over things. You will have a fight over a small thing also. We have seen in ourselves also, if we have a fight with our boss in the office, surely we will take that fight to our home, then we will not talk properly to our parents, to our siblings or our friends, then we have a fight at home as well.
Yeah.
So this is how it affects our personal relationship. And when talk about professional, so we become very over competitive
Mhm.
because everyone has to prove themselves.
Yeah.
We are not in a healthy environment. We are constantly running to prove ourselves. We are not having a proper mentorship at that time because it comes our ego that I will not ask that person because that person is doing so much ahead of me. What he or she will think if I will go with them and ask. So in that way, it affects both our personal and our professional lives.
Right, makes sense. So I wanted to talk about well into like self-worth and identity as well, because someone who has been a major part of the hustling culture, I have seen that I eventually found myself equating my self-worth to the work that I did. So it was my productivity was equal to my self-worth. And it got really toxic towards the end, because if I didn't do the right thing work related, I would feel like a loser. I would feel like a failure essentially. So it was always me beating myself up, and then trying to do the next right thing, trying to do the next best thing, always pushing myself out of the comfort zone. Like, I was so used to the discomfort that I forgot what peace and comfort felt like, which was just a major thing. Like, I was in a very chaotic environment for a very long time. So how can individuals separate their identity from their work output?
I think it's not only you, it's all the generation facing this
Yeah,
problem because we have attached our self worth to the work we are doing, right?
yeah.
If I am doing this particular work, then only I'm a good person. If I am giving my 100% in my counseling psychology, giving sessions to the people, then only I'm a good psychologist. That is my definition. I have forgot who is Akansha, or you have forgot who is Avantika actually. What gives us happiness? We have forgot that. We are busy developing into a world that is a part of us, but not completely us. Suppose if I'm a writer, I'm a psychologist, or whatever I am, it is just a part of my life. It is not whole me. I also need rest. I also need vacations to wait. But if I will not do, like you said, that you will go into that discomfort word that if you forgot what is your personal thing, what is your peace. So for that we need to maintain some things, we need to set boundaries, we need to take vacations, we need to take small breaks for ourselves. We need to practice mindful breathing, mindful journaling,
Mhm.
so that we can sit with ourselves and you can talk to yourself that what is important to you. We have forgot to talk to ourselves. If I ask you in the whole 24 hours, you get time to talk to yourself. I think
Yeah.
we
Okay.
don't have 5 minutes for ourselves.
No, yeah, agreed. We forget to just check in with ourselves throughout the day, and we are constantly on the go and hustling and whatnot. But yeah, we just forget to like check in with ourselves sometimes. It's
If
like,
we are not feeling good, then also we will not check with ourselves that what happened today that I'm not feeling good, why my body is not feeling good. We distract ourselves. Okay, we will watch Netflix and distract for a short period of time. Okay, we will go and have a fun with our friends. Okay, that is important, but that is a distraction, right? If we will sit with ourselves, we will talk to ourselves, we will practice some of the mindful breathing, journaling, or go to a therapist if you're to that extent you have lower your mental health. But we will not do that because there is a huge stigma around mental health, talking to yourself, expressing your emotions.
100%. Yeah, yeah. um, there are a lot of cultural differences that come with it as well. In the When we had initially started talking, you talked about how we are adapting to the Western cultures a lot. How do you think the culture is like? Do you notice any cultural differences when it comes to hustle culture, and how do you think it's practiced in India and other countries?
I think in India we are slowly cooperating with what Western culture is going on. But in Western, we need to understand that they are being brought up like me and myself, right?
Yeah,
But India, we are having a family.
it's more communist. Yeah, it's a community. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And when you are practicing it in a community, you are affecting not only your personal or mental health, but the people surrounded to you, right? If
Hmm.
your mental health is affected, somehow your parents will also get affected by it, your siblings, because we are connected. But in if we I talk about US, the US is like me and myself.
Yeah.
They separate they separate from their parents from a very young age. They are independent from a very young age. In our India, we get independent after 28. 21. This is commonly what we are seeing, but nowadays children are getting before that also. But in US, it was a culture before ahead that people are getting independent at 12, 13. They do several jobs with their studies. So they are adapted to that. But if we talk about India, it is still developing.
Yeah, 100% agree. Mm, yeah. Uh,
So
how do you,
that's the difference. Now we are
yeah,
making what westernization is doing, but it will take a lot of time. But we are not seeing what are its effects on us.
how do you think it
If
will go further on in the future? Like, how do you think hustle culture will take place in the coming years?
I think it will take a place in a sustainable way. We also grow with time. But I think that if we will get awareness about how hustle culture is affecting our mental health as well as physical health as well and speak about it, so we will be growing in a better way.
Makes sense.
We will not following what countries are following of mental health diseases. Most of the mental health diseases are being in the abroad only, but
Mm.
now it is coming to India as well, and India is going to be one of the largest country who will be suffering from mental health diseases in the coming years, as we are seeing depression rate, suicidal rates in India.
What are some of the ways to prevent that?
Mental health illness,
Yeah.
we have talked about it, like maintaining boundaries, spending time with yourself, reflecting with your own self, what are the things you want, practice your hobbies, give work a rest. If your work day is off, take it off. Detox yourself, digital detox, put your work notification on off for some time, don't be available for your work all the time.
See,
Like
it's
if your work office has messaged you, you have to reply immediately. No, you can take your time.
See, it's like these things, no? It makes sense to like take a break from all of that. But I have read somewhere, like I was like, I don't know, maybe read or heard or talked about, but like it talked about how like you can't have a work-life balance. You either have a balance or you're successful. And I'm like, okay, interesting. So it's either you see like people who are so ambitious, who are like going after their ambition like 12, 14, 16 hours a day, and then they're like really getting on top of it, but they do not, they're failing in other parts of their life, right? So how do you like, is work-life balance a myth, or can that really be attained while being successful?
I think it can be attainable because for this podcast only I was having a conversation with one of my friend, and what she said, the life you are living, na, the work balance life is good for you. But if I get that life, not work balance, I cannot survive it because I want to hustle all my life. Then I asked her that why you want to hustle? What is the need that you want to hustle in life, right? So she said, I don't know, but I want to hustle because people around me are hustling. So I want to hustle all the time. The work life balance which you are talking or you are living, I cannot live that life because I think we are not having that much of importance nowadays. In hustle culture, you talk about anything, it comes back to that points only, comparison and not knowing what you want in your life. If you talk about me, if I earn a bit less also, now I'm very happy. Because for me, my mental health is important. For me, my peace is important. But for people nowadays, as we have talked about, economic pressure is there.
Yeah,
They have to maintain a societal status.
yeah,
So for that, they have to work all their life, right? Then only you can maintain your societal status or your economic pressure, your peer pressure, your comparison. But
yeah.
once you understand that what is important for you, what you want, what you are actually happy with, that you will maintain a work life balance. And it is not a myth, you can actually maintain that thing.
I
But
would,
for that, you need to be aware.
yeah, self-aware.
Nowadays, now we talk about a lot about mental health, but when you speak about mental health now, or you tell somebody that you need a mental health therapy or counseling, people are so, they can't accept that. And then they say that mental health is so costly, we cannot afford mental health, things like that. But actually, we are not accepting mental health. That's what I feel.
It's interesting. I'll share something like that happened with me. I was a workaholic for more than 2 years. Like when I say workaholic, I mean I would not care about anything. I would wake up, like my day would start, works would start at 8 in the morning, and I would be working till like 12 at night. So it would be like 16 hours sometimes and all that. And it was insane. And I loved every bit of it. I loved the adrenaline that I got from it. I loved the high. I loved the achievements that I had and everything. But then one day I was talking to my therapist about it, and we discovered, so we were like going into, okay, why am I hustling so much? Why is achieving the next right thing so important to me? We were going on the whys and everything. And it boiled down to how I feel that I'm not good enough. So to overcome that feeling of not being good enough, I'm constantly working so I could feel that void. And then I could feel like, okay, maybe if I have like 7 achievements on my plate, then I'll be good enough for love, worthiness, happiness, whatever it is. So I was trying to fill that void, which is what made me a workaholic. And then I had that realization, and I was like, oh, this is too much self-awareness. So
That's what I'm talking about. Now we don't know what why we are doing things. Like I was talking to my friend, I have given you example. I asked her why you were doing. She was not having answer that why she's doing that.
yeah.
After a lot of conversation, after a lot of asking and things, then we have come that okay, this is only what she wants. Like that okay, I have to prove. Maybe sometime it is also that you want to prove to your family, right? When you are not a your self esteem is not at that good level, you want to prove people around you. It come from your family. At your childhood, you have not been a good student as per your family, or in your peer pressure also we see a lot of friends getting that, right? If I talk about myself, when I have post graduated in 2022, all my friends got the job. I was the only person who didn't get a job from for a 3 to 4 months. That is a transition period, and that 3 to 4 months of transition gave me a lot of anxiety. And I was constantly asking myself that I'm not worth it, or what. Maybe I'm not a good person, or maybe I'm not as good as others.
Mhm.
But I completely forgot that what was my goal and what was the other person's goal. Maybe it will take me a longer time because I have decided something else and other persons are doing something else.
So all of this conversation is very interesting and insightful. But honestly, I want to know that there are certain professions, right, which glorify hustling culture to another extent. Like if you're an entrepreneur, entrepreneurship is one field which is up and coming. Lot more people are exploring what it is and they want to get into it. And it's like you are when you're an employee, you work for a particular hours for someone else. But when you're an entrepreneur or a business person, you are working for yourself 24/7 around the clock. So like, so there are certain just professions which demand you to work that hard. So like, entrepreneurship requires that particular mindset, otherwise you just wouldn't sustain in that environment at all. So like, how do you suppose, the aspiring entrepreneurs could have a balance that will balance their need to succeed, as well as have that need, also have that self-care, and balance it out, because maybe they would feel like they're not doing good enough, or their profession just demands them to work so many hours, which would lead to neglect of other aspects of the personal life as
So, uh, coming from a business family, coming from a family of entrepreneurship, I think that one of the major thing which, as a child, which I suffered was that my family, especially my father, was not giving enough time for us because he was continuously into his business. Because, as you said, entrepreneurship required a lot of your time. It glorifies hustle culture, right? But what I feel that if till date I'm sharing this conversation with you here that whole my childhood I feel like that my father was busy into his business and he was not giving time to us. So it you you can understand that how family of the entrepreneurs suffer or relations of them suffer. So we need to maintain a balance. We need to change this thing that this field requires a time 24 into 7. Everything needs your time, whether it's your business, your family, or everything else. Though he has given us a fantastic of everything, he has given us a fantastic upbringing, did everything which he did best for, which he can do best from himself to us. But still, we have seen that thing that he is 24 hours busy into his business. Even if he is feeling ill, he have to manage his business. He has to be there in his business. So it is affecting his personal and physical health. Don't you think that people who are in entrepreneurs are also like us humans? They are not robots. Why we are thinking that they are robots? They have to be 24/7 on their brain or do something. You can be creative into that 6 to 8 hours also, if you will take rest, if you will take small breaks for yourself, vacations, you will be more creative. It will enhance your productivity and your creativity as well.
Makes sense. Yeah. Hmm. Interesting. It's I don't know, like we don't think about personal well-being as a priority. It's always about, people are like, oh, 20s is the age, is the decade when you hustle the most. There are so many motivational speakers out there who talk about it. Like, you get influenced by these people so much because they are the ones who have reached greater heights, so you want to follow their path, you want to believe what they are saying and everything. So it's just, I can imagine, I feel like it's a much deep rooted problem than we think of. Because I don't think personal well-being comes as a priority to anyone. Like, yeah, it's about, oh, people are like, if I don't,
So it
sorry,
is not in our culture, it is not in our conditioning.
yeah, it's about people. I personally know people who have said this thing to me where it's like, oh, if I don't work hard right now, when would I do it? If not now, then when? So yeah, it's, wow, that's insane.
That
That's,
is quite matlab, it is quite affecting other people's mental health, because we have set a certain age, like that 20s is for earning, settle, you have to settle in a proper setup job, well settled. You should be in 30s, you have to work. In 40s you can enjoy and take a world trip. In 50s you can retire. But I don't think so that life is as predicted as by us. Maybe next moment what happens, you never know, no?
yeah,
So we should keep our mental health, our physical health, our families, all everything at our priority, what I think so. Because what I said, that in India we are connected to a lot of things, right? No matter that you are doing it for yourself, right? But people who are connected to you, you are not doing justice to them
yeah,
sometimes.
100%. What's your one message to the younger generation who are entering the workforce with the idea that they must hustle to be successful?
I think they can be successful at any age, but first and most priority from my side is please take care of yourself. Your mental health, your physical health is very, very important. Every other thing you can achieve in life when you are mentally and physically fit. If you are healthy, you are wealthy. If you're not healthy, you're not taking care of yourself, you're just hustling, you're just putting, overburdening yourself, collecting all the emotions, suppressing yourself, one day you will end up doing nothing. Trust me, this is the reality. One day you will end up doing nothing in your life, and then you will regret that.
Yeah, yeah, agreed. Do you think the companies and like the bigger companies as well as the startups and everything, do you think they are, having a shift from having a shift against hustle culture to accommodate the well-being of their employees? Because I can see that there are more workshops and more awareness being spread in companies now. But do you think it's like, is it tangible enough? Like, do you think that there's a bigger shift in the space?
There's a shift coming in companies now, like Google, Microsoft. They start talking about mental health. They are calling out mental health activists, talking about mental health, giving workshops, and even hybrid culture is also there now in Microsoft or Google companies or big companies, that you can take work from home so that you can maintain a balance between your family and your work life. And paternity leaves are also being sanctioned nowadays. And in some of the states, I was researching that there is a thing going on that for women period leaves are also being sanctioned. So yes, we are progressing at some of the time, and there is a shift from hustle culture to in a more relaxed mode where you can take your mental health at priority.
Okay, makes sense. I'm glad that the shift is happening because it's about time that it happens. And yeah, I can see so many people who are so unhappy because of the hustle culture and because it has, I mean, it's good to work hard towards your goal, but not at the expense of your own well being.
Exactly. Work hard, enjoy the life. Life is very short. You work hard, obviously we all are here to be a successful human being, but I think before being successful we need to be a successful person in the well-being, in the mental health, in the physical health. I have seen, as I work as a counseling psychologist, so I have seen a lot of people, they are not happy, they are not mentally fit, but they are working, they're not giving time, they're not doing the things which they like. We have forgot that child in ourselves. We are so busy into being adults, into earning, into hustling, that we have forgot that inner child, that
Agree.
what gives us happiness.
Mhm. Yeah. Can you recommend some resources or support systems for those who feel overwhelmed by the pressures of the hustle culture?
I think you should, if someone is facing such problems and you are not able to maintain it with your own self, please go and seek help. It is completely okay. We are not here to only talk about mental health and create awareness about mental health. We have to accept that mental health is also a part of our life, just as our physical health.
Mhm.
If our bone is broken, we go to a doctor, right? If we are having a headache, we are having a fever or cold cough, we go to a physical physician to see help. But when it comes to a mental health, not feeling good, not able to do work on time, or bed cynical, not able to get out of our bed, we don't seek help
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
there is a lot of stigma.
Agree.
So
What
it's
do you
high time that we should break the stigma, come out and support each other. Please don't be judgmental. If someone is sharing something to you, don't be judgmental. Na, ki that person is seeking more attention and sympathy.
100%, 100% agreed. Yeah, we are coming towards the end of the episode. This has been such a delightful conversation to have with you. Do you think there is something that I might have missed out on, or something that you would like to talk about?
No, we have. I think we have covered everything. But to stop this hustle culture, first and most important thing is please practice self care, make boundaries. This is what the summing up of hustle culture is. Learn to say no, and please separate your work identities from your personal identities. Don't make your personal identities, your work identities as your personal identities. They are two separate things. And don't always hustle, hustle, hustle. Please take care of yourself, your mental health,
Yeah.
and people around you.
100% agreed. Yeah. Thank you so much for your time and for your energy and to be here with me. I am sure that people will take a lot out of it because cell culture is something that's up and new. And yeah, you see it everywhere. Everywhere you go, from someone who's like literally 13, 12 years of age to someone who's in their 50s and 60s. Everyone is experiencing it. And we need to spread more awareness about it and start talking about it through conversations like this one, which makes people realize that, oh, we can have a work life balance, and there can be a place where we are successful, because I feel like success is something that can be defined by yourself too. It's how do you define it?
Exactly.
You need to have your own metrics to define success. So yeah, that is
So
something that
there's a quote I want to say, that success may be defined different for me and may be different from you, because our stories, our journey of success is different. So we can't say na, that you are successful and I am not successful, or I am successful, you are not successful, because we all are having different journeys to success, and we
100%.
all are having different goals to be successful and ambitions to be successful. So we should not compare ourselves with anybody, especially seeing somebody on social media,
100%.
because please try to make a difference between what is real and what is real. Nobody is perfect. Social media is just showing that everybody is doing the perfect thing, but I don't think so. It is not possible that everybody is perfect.
So where can people find you?
People can find me on Instagram, psychologist Akansha Jain, on my YouTube channel, on my LinkedIn as well. I'm available on the platforms.
Yeah,
But for my
wonderful.
Insta handles, where I see the counseling sessions, are Akansha Jain psychologist.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I'll be linking everything down in the show notes of the description. And do reach out to her, do reach out to us, do let us know what you thought about the episode. And yeah,
And it
Akansha,
was very nice talking to you. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. come here and to talk with you with such an infectious person of smile. Your smile is so good. Just keep smiling.
Thank you so much. I had a lot of fun talking to you as well. And yeah, thank you for everyone who stuck through the end. We hope you like today's episode. Stay tuned because we're gonna have many more mental health professionals come in and talk about different things and different aspects of mental health. And we want to spread as much awareness as we can. And yeah, thank you for sticking through. I love you. Take care, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye. How do you stop it?